People have a very poor perception of what the pipes can do. The reaction you get a lot of the time is, what, you play the bagpipes? You know, how did you get started at that? But once you see what the pipes can actually do and what music they can play, you get hooked on it.
The first music, I imagine, would have been the wind blowing through the reeds. And this is the music of the pipes. And I think there's a great wildness about the pipes, also great dignity. Certainly about the Field Marshal Montgomery Pipe Band, what Richard Parkes has done for the whole pipe band music is, he has created a great sense of dignity and pride in the pipes.
Some bands belong in a military square, other bands are for making political statements. But I think that the pipe band is bigger than that. I think the whole strut and the swagger of pipe music is evident, and I think it's actually evident in the affection that the people who play the music have for that kind of music.
When I was 9, my uncle decided to take myself and Gordon along to the local band, and that's where we started. I wanted to play the pipes, and I think Gordon didn't want to do what I wanted to do, so he took the drums. I remember the first night we went there, seeing the pipers marching up and down the hall, thinking, I'll never be able to do that.
I can remember a lot of the old hands was past their death and wasn't having the puff. The puff goes, you see, the pipes goes down, so you must keep the pipes up. Anyway, Richard and Gordon, and there was 3 or 4 other ones, all about 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, all came into the band. And that boosted us old fellas that bit, because it was great to see young blood coming in. And we knew that there was talent there, because the band started to come up.
There are 96 competition bands in Northern Ireland. Each one of those bands would have a membership ranging from 20 to 30 people, and would in turn have a following of up to a couple of hundred people. So there's a tremendous interest in the pipe band movement in Northern Ireland, and in Ireland in general, where there are over 200 competition bands. The success of any pipe band is determined by 2 factors: the quality of the piping and the backup and the rhythmical feel provided by the drumming section, and how well that fits the piping melody. To get the most out of a band practice, rehearsals have to be structured. The pipe section and drum section practice separately first of all. The drum section practice on practice pads, and it's the role of the drum sergeant to assess each individual's technique and ensure each player is playing to the same standard and playing the same movements. Change. Loud. Time quiet. Playing in a competition pipe band is a very ruthless hobby. Ruthless in that only the best, certainly at top level, survive. Which is why, if we look back over the last 7 years, that there are only 8 of the members from 7 years ago that are still present in today's band.
I had to take on the role of pipe major in the mid-season 1981, because we were left at that time without a pipe major. So I took on the role as I was second in command, or pipe sergeant. The role of a pipe major is really, number one, to select the tunes that the band will play, teach the players, to ensure that the piping and drumming fit together as a unit, and manage the whole group of people as well. Somebody forgot to play F at the start of the second tune. Who's that? Oh, don't. Stop the messing from now, because we're going to record. The two jigs. You've got to have some man management skills. For the last part of the first. You need to try and read people's personalities, although that's something which maybe I'm not just so good at sometimes.
I remember about a few years ago, I was speaking to Richard Parks at a competition in Enniskillen, and I doubt this is the first time I had a sort of an in-depth conversation with him. It was at a pub after a competition, and I asked him what his plans were, what his future was for the band, and he had said to me that time, he thinks that possibly within 3 years, he had a band good enough to win the World Pipe Band Championships, and I said, you serious?
When we won our first major championship in Grade 1, which was the Cowell Games in 1990, it was an absolutely unbelievable experience. We're the only band from Ireland ever to have won a major championship in Scotland. The first time we won the World Championship was 1992, and we went on to retain it then in 1993. In fact, in 1993, the band won all 5 major championships. The Cowell Games, the Scottish, the British, the European, and the World's Championship. In total that year we competed on 17 occasions, and we won every competition that year. So really, that was the ultimate that we could achieve. It's not possible to do any better than that.
Right, see from now on, play when I ask you to play, not whenever you think you should be playing yourself. Let's get this done. After 2, 1, 2.
With Gordon being my brother and also being leading drummer in the band, I think it's worked very well for us. I think we think the same musically, and we never have too many disagreements when it comes to the scores that Gordon sets to the tunes that I or the band select, and he's always very open to change.
He is my younger brother, and that sometimes can make it a difficult relationship. However, he's simply the best pipe major there is. It makes it quite easy for me to take on board constructive criticisms that he would have of some of the drum scores that we would write to accompany the pipe section. I've always felt that the pipes could have a broader appeal, and I think to try and do that, I've
tried to form a few partnerships with other musicians, both around folk clubs and in some television performances. For example, I've played with Frank Cassidy and Mark Armstrong quite extensively over the last few years. Frank found it a good experience to try and accompany the Scottish pipes, having previously accompanied many other traditional instruments, including the uilleann pipes. You couldn't be subtle with the Scottish pipes because they're so upfront and there's such a great volume from them, so you had to be very aggressive.
I think pipe music has always been very important. The pipes were banned in Scotland because they had such an intoxicating influence on the people. The authorities feared the pipes. They banned them. They weren't allowed. But the way that Richard and the band use the music is in a very positive way, and they've got a very broad canvas as well. They bring in music from all traditions and all around the world and bring it together in a very dignified mosaic.
Tommy Sands wrote the song for the Laganside concert, which was really the Belfast Harp Orchestra concert, which we and Tommy Sands were guests at. And Tommy's song refers to both harpers and pipers in the lyric.
They asked me to write a song which would embrace these musics and embrace the feeling of, I suppose, Belfast and the hall. And certainly the harps and the pipes, they cover such a wide field, and well, the song attempts to bring those two together, reminding us of the great past we've had, a past that has been lost in many ways, but a future that's there, and a future of great possibilities.
Well, I thought she was a vision that stopped me with her smile. Down by the river, we walked along in style. She says, you're welcome back again, and won't you stay a while? Down by the Laganside. And when we dance, we'll dance together. When we cry, when we love, we'll love forever, down by the lagging side. I said, who owns that music that's so full of joy and pain, that the pipers and the harpers and the lambic drummers play? She said, who owns the teardrops falling in the rain, down by the lagging side? And when we dance, we'll dance together. When we cry, we'll hold each other. And when we love, we'll love forever, down by the lagging side.
Junction in the middle. So as we know, the tone.
I've got a lot from the piping game over the years, and I feel that
Okay.
I want to put something back in.
It's a major scale because of the arrangement
The
of
Northern
tone.
Ireland Piping and Drumming School was formed in the early 80s. There are over 100 students attend the school each year, and there's a level there for everyone, no matter what their experience or ability.
So who can tell me what the word diatonic means with respect to major scales?
Well, it's like a combination of tones and semitones that are used between the varying degrees of the scale.
Okay, that's right. In any major scale, either the top tetrachord or the
I have more patience for improving people who have got to a certain standard rather than teaching absolute beginners. I don't think I've got the patience for that. I've seen a lot of very, very talented players go into a competition not being well enough practiced and not managing to get through the tunes.
triggers of mind, yeah.
I feel that if you're well practiced, you can always overcome any nerves that you may have on the day of a competition. I would like to think that I am a hard taskmaster. I don't think we would have gotten where we are today if I hadn't been. Certainly, I've worked hard for it myself, and I would expect everybody else to put in the same effort in order to try and win. It only takes one weak link in the band or somebody who hasn't done the work to let you down on the day of a competition, so they know that they'll have me to answer to if they don't put the work in.
Richard has created a very unique sound with Field Marshal Montgomery. It's a very high-pitched chanter sound. That in turn requires a very high-pitched snare effect and snare drum sound. There's only one snare drum that we believe on the market that produces that, and it's made here, right here in Northern Ireland. It's called the Andante drum. And it's no coincidence that we've been playing the Andante drum for 8 years, which is exactly the same time that the band has achieved its remarkable success. The sound of the drum is one of the key factors that judges look for in the overall band performance, the sharpness and the crispness. The overall band performance is the most important, and the drumming section should never outweigh or overperform or overplay a pipe section.
I think I can honestly say that it's still a passion. There are times when I do get fed up with the whole game, but it doesn't last very long. Usually 1 or 2 good band practices or 1 or 2 good performances from my own personal perspective in performance somewhere would be enough to rekindle the old flames and let me see what I've really enjoyed about the whole thing. I think the band are certainly capable of winning the World Championship again. A lot of things need to work for you on the day of the competition, as well as performing well enough. The right balance of adjudicators, the right weather conditions. There's a lot of things that need to run in your favour in order to actually win on the day of the World Championships. But I think to a certain extent you also do make your own luck. And if you've worked hard enough and prepared well enough, then I certainly think it's possible for the band to win the World Championship again. I don't see any problem with that.
When a band like the Field Marshal Montgomery Pipe Band take to the stage or to the arena, the performance platform, whatever it may be, you can tell to look at that band that they know exactly what they're about. They know that they are among the best, if not the very, very best in the country. The drum corps are as tight as a drum, and when the pipes lift, there's not a bum note to be heard. There's that lovely sense of elation, and it just swells out from among the ranks of the band. And you can tell that in that corps of musicians, there's not one single passenger. And to watch them is just to watch a great band. I think that the pipes are essentially a Celtic instrument, and the musicians who play the pipes play in the main. They play the music of Ireland and they play the music of Scotland. And there are times when you cannot separate those two. You can't sometimes say with certainty this is a Scotch air or this is an Irish air. People have often said, well, we're nearly the same people, and maybe pipe music is a very living proof of that.
Home Truths next, and BBC One's All at Sea to bid a fond farewell to the